And then also him just having like an overall, general care for his health is important to me. It's something that I want in my partner. I want him to be able to grow me too.
And Carrie's that presence is a great way to put it. It's not just about the physique and the perception of, oh, he's got a lot of muscles. It's more so how you carry yourself. Like, are you presenting yourself as confident?
Even if they have the muscles and the chisel and all of that, you never know, they could be insecure.
I am not naive that one of the biggest factors that drives, especially men, to just wanting to get in shape and get a six-pack and just be healthier overall is primarily for, sexual reasons, and thinking that once you do that, you're going to be more, we'll say women will find you more attractive when you do. And in this video, I really just want to set some truth around that. And to do that, we want to interview some women today, and we want to get their perspectives around, men and being in shape and having a six-pack, and if that's actually something that they genuinely even care about, and if that's something that is going to put you over the edge and helping you find love and enhancing your love life. So let's go interview some women. Let's go get their perspective. All right, everybody. So our first person here is Elena. She's a trainer here at Crunch. And let's get started with these questions. So Elena, do you feel like it's important to you, or it's a major determining factor, that a man is in shape or has a six-pack when it comes to you wanting to be intimately involved with him, or like choosing him over another man?
Major determining factor, no.
Six-pack, not necessarily.
I would say no.
Okay.
Honestly, I'm going to say no. I think it's really about the whole package and what their physique looks like in its entirety, to be honest.
For me personally, it matters that you have the habits of health.
Okay.
And if you've established those, then I know that you care about your health, which means you would care about my health in a relationship, as well as a family and taking care of one.
I mean, abs are a plus.
Okay.
If he's got like other, attributes to him physically.
And 9 times out of 10, when I first see you anyway, I'm looking at your smile and what you have on. So six-pack is like later down the line.
But I think if we're just talking about like a physical perspective, it's not going to be a make or break for me.
Okay.
I think there's a lot more to somebody's physicality than just the abs.
Because even if they have a six-pack, if they're not a good person, I'm not attracted.
In shape, I've dated guys that weren't in shape, or that fitness wasn't really important to them. And I found that for me is more like something we have in common.
Okay.
Because I love working out. So it just kind of makes us kind of more opposite.
Why do you feel like those things, specifically that you just mentioned, are more important to you as opposed to how he physically looks?
I would say for me as a female, feeling safe and protected is incredibly important to me.
Okay.
And so if I know that my man who I'm with can protect me physically, that's what matters versus the aesthetics.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you feel like if a man looks a certain way, though, when you talk about being protective, would you feel like a man that is more muscular in a sense and in shape, would you feel more protected with him as opposed to somebody that's in lesser shape, is going to come up, he's going to see a bigger guy and be like, oh, he might be intimidated by that? Does that in any way kind of like influence your thinking when it comes to why you would prefer a man have healthier habits in general?
I would say it would matter. I think perception is important, even if we can't control it fully.
Yep.
As a man, if you probably saw someone who is larger than you, you would be less likely to mess with that person or whoever's around them. So it would probably matter in terms of just the threatening factor towards an opponent.
Do you feel like a man being in shape and a man that does have a six-pack, do you feel like when you look at him versus somebody that isn't, do you feel like that's something that gives you a perception of, oh, he is somebody that actually, can be that protector for you, that can be that person that's a leader for you? Sometimes, perception is reality for a lot of people. And I do understand, at least what I would think from a woman's standpoint, that a man that is more in shape, you're going to feel from a perspective standpoint, he could be that person for the qualities that you're looking for. So with that, would you say that's true or not true?
There's a couple of schools of thought there. All right.
Okay.
So if I see a man with a six-pack, it tells me he's got a good diet, right? It tells me he's really committed to his fitness. But with that, it comes a level of arrogance that has me almost shy away from him sometimes. Like, I know he feeling himself.
Okay.
So it's really hit or miss. Like I said, it's about the confidence, about having the right level. If he's got a six-pack and isn't isn't arrogant and holds it with a, with a level of humbleness, and I'm like, okay, cool. It's the cherry on top, if you will. It's in no way a foundation of relationship for me. I'm not seeing a man with a six pack across from the gym. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna go talk to him.
Yeah.
Definitely not it. So I would say having the foundation of everything else, and then if you have abs, like, cool.
Okay. But still, even with all that being said, your main focus would be on just the qualities that you want in him more so than the overall physical appearance, as long as he carries that presence that he can be a protector, he can be somebody that you know is for you, and somebody that you just feel that you're safe with, and period, no matter what he really looks like.
Yeah, and carries that presence is a great way to put it. It's not just about the physique and the perception of, oh, he's got a lot of muscles. It's more so how you carry yourself. Like, are you presenting yourself as confident, as someone who other people wouldn't want to mess with? And,
I like that.
And definitely it is a matter of, for me in a relationship, more security, protection, especially as I do want to have a family long term.
Yeah.
And then the other qualities such as confidence, such as making sure that his health matters and is important to him.
So
Exactly. So with that being the case, what are some of the major qualities that you would say are a big determining factor for you when you're looking for somebody that you would want to be involved with from a relationship standpoint?
I think if we're just sticking to like physical fitness, I want to make sure that we both have the same level of interest in fitness.
Okay. Outside of the physical part, is there any other qualities that you feel like you desire that you know are going to put him over the top compared to another one?
I think there's a lot of things, but I will say the top thing for me is I'm gonna say the top thing for me is confidence.
Okay.
I love a man that's confident. I don't like a man that's cocky.
Okay.
But I like a man that knows that he's working on himself, that knows he can always grow to be better, but is confident as who he is right now and can kind of lead that relationship. I definitely need a leader in a man. So I think that's going to be what even piques my interest for us to know whether or not something could spark into a relationship.
I know one of the things you said was their smile. And I know a lot of things that I've heard throughout, the interviews that we have done is women like to look for a man that's confident more so than how he looks. Do you feel like in his smile and the way that he's standing and the way that he presents himself from that standpoint, is that something that you feel like is more important for you as opposed to seeing what's necessarily under the shirt, we'll say?
Yes.
Okay.
Confidence for sure, because the way you carry yourself, I think, says a lot about you. I think also like who you keep around you says a lot about you. And they say birds of a feather flock together. So
Yes. So you're actually the first person that talked about an environmental thing. So what is it about a man's friends? So his people that he's around, the people that he associates with, why is that something that you feel like sticks out, especially to you?
I think because if you don't have people of substance around you and that are helping you like become a better person, and like people you can feed off of and like ask advice for that help you grow as a person and in life, it's like, what are they here for? They're just kind of dead weight.
Exactly. So for you, it seems like it's less of the person and his physical appearance from what's under the shirt, but more so the way that he looks and presents himself and the people that he has around him that if I'm going to be involved with this person, because it's not just always you and him. You are going to be involved with his friends and his family and the people around, and you want to feel like that person that you would be with, the people that are going to be talking and speaking into his life are going to be ones that are going to be beneficial for him, because it will ultimately help him grow into the man that he needs to be for you. Would you say that's a big token for you?
Yeah, I mean, for longevity, yes. Now, if you're looking for a little hookup, different story.
Very different.
But if you're looking for a long-term like commitment, all of those things are super important.
I love that. Ask you the simple question. Do you feel like it is a determining factor for you, or do you feel like it's a heavy importance for you that a man is in shape or has a six-pack when it comes to you choosing him to being someone that you would be intimately involved with?
Six-pack, not necessarily. In shape, I've dated guys that weren't in shape or that fitness wasn't really important to them. And I found that for me is more like something we have in common.
Okay.
Because I love working out. So it just kind of makes us kind of more opposite.
Okay. What was that experience like with a man that you felt like he wasn't in shape? What were the things that kind of like you disliked or were kind of swayed you away from him as you got to know him more?
I didn't like the fact that he was always having health issues.
Okay.
And he also wasn't going to the doctor for it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and he had a child, so I'm sitting here thinking, isn't that important? Like your
Right.
child? Anyway, so that bothered me, but then
Okay.
also I think it bothered him that I would want to take time away from him to
Yeah.
work out.
Okay.
He wouldn't understand that. So that was sort of where the problem would arise.
Okay. So do you feel like when you look at a man that is in shape, or we won't even say has a six-pack, just commits himself to working out in general, do you feel like that specific determining factor more so than his physical appearance of how he looks is what you care about more so from what it seems like you're saying? It's not exactly
Yeah.
him having a six-pack, just the consistency and wanting to actually be healthy and live a healthy lifestyle.
Right, and take care of himself. And yeah, I mean, and to be honest with you, if they're over the top obsessive in the gym,
Yeah.
it's actually more of a turnoff.
Yeah.
Because I start wondering if they're going to like never be with me because they're always going to be in the gym. Or
Yeah.
I'll also think they could be very outwardly focused on their own looks, and
Yeah.
that to me is a little bit of a turnoff.
Okay.
Because I think how a person is on the inside, where their belief system is,
Yeah.
all of that is way more important to me. Like I think having some similar qualities,
Yeah.
that's going to be way more important. I mean, I've dated guys that were very in shape, and I've dated guys that weren't in very much shape. I also prefer a guy taller versus shorter.
Yeah.
But is that going to be well, absolutely not. No.
Yeah. Okay.
Because for me, it's really about how we connect as
Yeah.
an individual, how I connect with them as an individual.
So it seems like for you, just listening to your response, is that you more so care about the compatibility of a person more so than what he looks like. So if he's somebody that expresses the same interest, somebody that shows that he cares, and somebody that's not overly obsessive with things that aren't important to you, but you guys connect through the things that you both enjoy together to
Yeah.
form a good connection in that way, is something that matters to you way more than just if he has a six-pack or not.
Well, the six-pack thing, it really isn't even a thing for me. I mean, like,
Yeah.
I don't even know if I've even dated a guy with a six-pack, to be completely honest with you. Maybe. I don't think so, though.
Okay.
But, I mean, physical, yes. Physical isn't, because you want to be attracted to the person.
Yeah.
So, if I know nothing about the person, but I already don't have any kind of attraction,
Yeah.
I'm probably not going to pursue that.
Okay.
So an attraction is definitely that first,
That first push.
first push.
Yeah.
But do they have to be, they can be good looking to me and not good looking to somebody else. I promise you I've dated some guys that people are like, what? And then I've dated other guys that they're
Okay.
like, wow, it's just who I've been attracted to and
Yeah.
the qualities and all of that.
So, last thing, for any man out there that you would say that may be watching this, that they feel they're insecure about the way they look, or feel like because they don't have as many muscles or they're not as in shape as other men, that they feel like they're not going to be as appealing or as attractive, to a woman, and that it is a barrier for them when it comes to finding their person and finding love in their life, what would you have to say to them? We can look right in the camera.
Yeah, so I would say confidence is key. And it doesn't just come from your physical appearance. It's definitely something that you can learn. It's something that you can develop when you're within yourself. As a female, I've actually had to do the same within myself. But just making sure that, yes, you are confident. Yes, you are pouring into yourself. That's the biggest thing, is making sure I'm not out here looking for my partner. I'm out here pouring into me. And then that in itself will result in other people wanting to look at you as well. But it's very much so just a matter of, are you happy with you? Are you happy with who you are as a person? Because ultimately the physique is going to leave us, the physical aspect is going to fade, and so what matters is what's inside.
You see, guys, I love what she said when it comes to pouring back in yourself and not being too worried about, you know, trying to look a certain way for that. Because I know as men, a lot of times we love to chase, and we can let that chase sometimes affect our work, affect our relationships, not just with, you know, women, but with our family and with other people, and even with other women, because we may hurt them in the process when we're just chasing the wind and just looking for things and we're not right personally. So focusing on yourself personally, even with the things Elena said when it comes to being a protector, you know, wanting to have a family and want to be a man that she could feel safe and protective with, all that comes by developing yourself and your discipline and your habits and the healthy habits that Elena said are also very important to her. All that comes by pouring back into yourself. So wonderful things that Elena said. Elena, thank you so much for your opinion on this.
So I think for me, the biggest thing that I'm looking for in a man who is wanting to maybe make himself more eligible in the dating pool, I would say this. Honestly, it's really about bettering yourself, being really comfortable with who you are as a person. I think if you're striving to look a certain way or be a certain type of person in, you know, pursuit of someone else, it's not going to necessarily get you the person that you're wanting. So I think as long as you are working on yourself for you and, you know, becoming a better version of yourself, I think you'll attract the person that's really meant for you, the person that you're looking for. So I wouldn't say it's all about how you look. I think it's more so about being happy with who you are, and the right person will come along for sure.
You know, a confidence standpoint and also being secure in yourself. Those are two big prevailing themes that we've seen so far, right? And that's something that from a man's perspective, right, whether you have a six-pack or not, it is not going to take away your insecurity of you. So if you're still dealing with things about yourself that you don't like, I promise you, as a man that's had a six-pack, you know, for the majority of his life, it does not change insecurities or things about you. But focusing on yourself, focusing on the things around you, and ultimately the habits that you establish in getting a six-pack from physical fitness will ultimately help you in your life and helping you have a better vision of yourself and who you are, but really internally working on yourself as all the qualities that these women have told you that they want in somebody that's confident, somebody that, you know, presents themselves as a leader, somebody that feels like there's somebody that they can trust and that they can feel safe with. All these things you can develop when you focus on your fitness, and that's why that's the most important thing that these women have told you when it comes to what they look for. Maybe not necessarily being a six-pack, even though it is a plus, so you can still have one. Ain't nobody saying you can't. So knowing that, what advice would you give to any men out there that feel like because they don't physically look like, you know, another person they may see, or feel like their worth is less, or they're, you know, just less attractive to somebody because physically they don't look a certain way? What advice would you give to them that can kind of like help them understand that that might not exactly be the case? Honestly,
I don't think how you look is going to determine whether or not somebody is going to want to be with you. And confidence-wise, I was going to say that is a huge turn on. So wherever you are in your life and in your path, showing that confidence, that's going to bring the girls to you way faster than just looking good. For the most part, if a girl, even if she is attracted to that person in the beginning, but they have absolutely no substance, they're not going to stay with them. It's just as we get older, now maybe high school or whatever, when we're not smart, but as we get older, like we start realizing that all of that stuff, I mean, yeah, you want to take care of yourself just because it helps you to live longer. But in terms of, you know, oh, I've got to be a certain way or look a certain way, that's not the person you would even want to be with at the end of the day. But I don't think that's going to hinder a female from wanting to be with you at all. There is an attraction level that, you know, people will have to be that first initial push, right? So I think for anybody that's looking, I think anybody would be saying they don't want to be attracted to the person that they would desire from a relationship standpoint. But that is not the end all be all, as we heard from Nikki and as we heard from both Elena and Aubrey as well, that who you are as a person, how you connect with them, and overall your qualities that you show, that even from a fitness standpoint, how that can enhance, but not just in how you look, but in how you carry yourself as a man, and in the habits and the disciplines that you carry from fitness that will make a woman, you know, more attracted to you in that way, has zero to do with how you look, but more so in the person that you become to be better for them. So
And I love that she said that too. We've heard confidence a lot in here too, right? And I know as men sometimes we feel less confident if we don't look a certain way. And that can definitely go both ways as well. But I know that was something that I fell into personally, was thinking I didn't look good enough because I might not have been, you know, in the same level of physical shape. And I know in the beginning, that was especially something that I fell into from a mindset standpoint. And it doesn't matter if you look shredded or if you're, you know, overweight, we'll say. That does not fix your confidence level in a long-term sense. Having abs might feel good for about 3 to 4 months, maybe a year. After that, you get used to this, and those same insecurities and things that followed you before, they will still be in there if you don't work on yourself. So that's where fitness can really begin to help you, is just changing your mindset and having healthier habits about yourself to kind of begin to break down those insecurities that you do have from a confidence standpoint that, again, will make you more attractive for women when they see you, because they do notice that when you carry a level of confidence about yourself. It is definitely something that they look for, as we have heard. So, Nikki,
Yes.
we thank you for your opinions
Absolutely.
and your comments. We hope this helped you guys. All right, guys, we'll continue moving. So, would you give any advice for any man that feels like he is losing on the end of finding a relationship or finding, you know, the love that he wants, or feeling like he's insecure because he doesn't look like, you know, some of the men that he sees that are more muscular, more fit than him, and he feels like they're going to be more attractive to women than him, and he feels like he just doesn't have that it factor to really get over the hump in that area? Is there anything that you would want to say to anybody that might feel like that?
Yeah, so I would say even if they have the muscles and the chisel and all of that, you never know, they could be insecure. They could not feel like they're doing well in other areas, and that's kind of where they can overcompensate and make up for the, I don't know, like the void they're trying to fill somewhere else. So don't let that stop you. If you feel like you see or have met the person of your dreams, go for it. And if they don't want you, peace out.
See, I love what she said there too, because she also touched on something that hadn't been said yet either, is men looking a certain way to try to fill a void in other areas of their life that aren't doing well. And I can speak for me personally. I know a lot of times you can hang your hat on your fitness as a way to kind of like push some of those things aside to try to help you overall feel better about yourself, and in a way that can be a hindrance to you, because on one end, you know, it's good to work on yourself, right? We've heard a lot of women talk about how they want somebody that's overall growing and developing, but when the overemphasis is on the thing that doesn't really help you become a better man, because you can look as fit as ever, but if you don't work on those insecurities and those qualities, at the end of the day, you're just gonna be a good looking mess.
Okay.
And women don't want exactly a good looking mess. They want you to be overall put together. And hearing Alexa's opinions and everybody else's opinions, as long as you have all of your other stuff together, you know, your fitness can fade or not fade. And while most women will tell you that it is a plus, of course, as we heard for sure, the main thing is making sure that you're in a place where you can treat them properly and be that proper stability for them. And your fitness is not going to ultimately be the thing that pushes that. It's everything else that fitness can do around that. And like you heard Alexa say, that is a huge thing that I'm glad that she said, is pushing back voids. Don't let your fitness or your drive for wanting to look a certain way be a void filler for you to kind of like keep you from actually addressing the real issues in your life. Because I promise you, as somebody that's had a six-pack for years, it does not fix insecurities. It does not fix, you know, the broken parts about you. It will just cover it and ultimately even, you know, make it even more when you realize that, oh, me having a six-pack actually doesn't help me feel better about myself, or it doesn't help me get more money, or doesn't help me, you know, deal with some of the trauma that I've dealt with. It's a hard uphill climb when you realize that, and that's a big thing I want to kind of push you guys away from. So, Alexa, we appreciate your perspective. I love the fact that you said that. I know a lot of people are going to be very encouraged by that. We appreciate you for having the interview. So you've heard from women, guys, on their actual real perspectives on, you know, us being in shape and if that's going to actually make you more attractive. And I wanted to make this video primarily because, you know, I've talked with so many clients and things around the years, and I've really just seen a prevailing theme around, you know, one of men's biggest whys or reasons behind being in shape has always primarily just been for, you know, sexual reasons. I've fallen into that personally. I remember when I, you know, always had those thoughts and wanting to be in shape and wanting to physically look a certain way. You know, a big part of that was primarily for, you know, me wanting to be more attracted or make myself more attractive for women. And it's not something that I believe is a sustainable approach to health and fitness. And I believe when you can hear that approach and kind of hear what some of these women said about what's really important to them, I believe fitness drives all of that, which is being a better man, focusing on yourself, focusing on your relationship with God, and just your standards and how you view yourself. Those are going to be the things that, from a fitness standpoint, when you really begin to focus on that, it's those things ultimately that make you more attractive from a woman's standpoint than anything that has to do with how you physically look. So what I just encourage anybody that's watching, you know, this specific video is just, man, being in shape is fantastic. You know, you know what Honor Your Temple is about. I'm all for you being in shape, but I want to just kind of push you away from the sexual part of thinking, because, you know, God's going to handle that part of your life. And I believe the more that you follow him and set your foundation on that, and the more that you just keep yourself healthy, not just physically, but in all the things that you do, and help yourself just be the healthiest version of yourself overall, that specific part of your life is going to be a humongous fruit of the work that you put in to your health, to your fitness, and to just you becoming a better man to attract that right woman that you have. So I hope this video encouraged you guys and help put you on a path towards that. That was the big, you know, purpose for me, and I really, really wanted to make sure that every man in my community that may be dealing with insecurities about, you know, feeling like they're inadequate or feeling like, you know, they're not good enough because they're not as in shape or they're not as lean or muscular as another man, or feeling like women wouldn't, you know, be attracted to you because of that. I just want to help uplift you guys, encourage you guys, and help you be focused on the right things when it comes to your fitness, and just help you become a better man and help you continue to walk in your purpose, because I know when you do that, you know, all that stuff will follow. So hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, definitely be sure to leave a like, be sure to comment, man, any questions, feedbacks, concerns. Would love to see you guys' reactions and, you know, interact with you guys with some of the things that were said in this. Definitely be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification as well. Honor Your Temple. It is all about, you know, just helping you guys, you know, maximize the one life and the one body that you have. And I believe we do that by, first and foremost, you know, making ourselves healthy and making ourselves as fit as we can, and making sure that we always set our foundation on our relationship with God. If we do those two things, I believe everything else in life that you're believing for and that you're working towards, you'll be able to do it, and do it at the capacity at which God wants you to. And this channel is all about putting you on that right path to get there. So if you guys want to become a part of this community, man, and you guys rock with that message, we'd love for you guys to subscribe and become a part of the family, man. And I hope you guys, you know, enjoyed this, and I'll see you guys in the next one.